Hi, folks, and welcome to this free training. It's all about how to get started with your health and fitness goals, right? The process of losing weight and getting fit and healthy has been made incredibly complex by the fitness industry for reasons unknown to me, all right? So what I want to do by creating this video is to help you see that the process of losing weight, the process of getting fit and healthy doesn't have to be as challenging, as complex as you may think that it is. All right. So I'm not saying that this is going to be any less challenging, any less hard than you find it, but what it should be is quite a simple process for you to get your head around. All right, and that consistency is key within this, and hopefully by simplifying the process for you, you should find it a little bit easier to integrate into your life. All right, so I'm going to go through the key things that we go through with all our clients. So the information I'm giving you today, we deliver in our programs and everything else, and we're giving it to you completely free because we want to change the way that exercise and nutrition and everything is looked at across the UK, and really hope you get some benefit from this training video. All right, so let's crack on. So where should we start with our health and fitness journey? And we very much start with the end in mind. And it might be a little bit backwards. Why would I do that? Why would I start with the end in mind? And the point of this is to get clear on what it is that we want to achieve and why we want to achieve it. Okay. So there's some questions here that I want you to think about. So write these down, get a pen and paper and write down these questions. What do I want to achieve? And really think about it. I want to lose 2 stone. Awesome. Why do you want to lose 2 stone? Why do I want to do that? What impact is that going to have on my life? Why is this important to me? How will I know that I've reached my goal, my target? And when do I want to reach that target by? And be realistic with this, all right? People get frustrated and people get annoyed that they lose 1 or 2 pound a week. Oh, that's not enough. Well, that's actually sustainable, so it's exactly what you need to do. So it's preparing your mind, managing your expectations on what it is that you want to set out to do. And the reason that we do this is that sometimes working on a health and fitness is quite challenging, all right? There's going to be days where you don't want to do it. And just going, I just want to be a bit healthier and fitter, that's a bit nothing, right? We want something that's going to get you up out of bed on those days that you don't want to do anything and actually do it anyway. Because that's where the growth happens within you. When you do it when you don't want to, that's magical, that is. And how you get to that point is by understanding why you want to get to where you want to get to at a much deeper level than what you think it is. For an example, I had a client recently, he said to me, I just want to lose weight and get a bit fitter. Awesome. But when we actually explored it a bit more, he understood that the situation he was in wasn't a good one. He understood that he probably wouldn't be on the planet in 10 years' time if he didn't make some changes. He understood that he'd probably end up with type 2 diabetes. He understood that he could end up with heart disease, stroke, etc. He understood all that, and he wasn't bothered. It didn't bother him at all, which is bizarre, isn't it? But that wasn't his motivator. What his motivator was actually that he couldn't play football with his kids every weekend without feeling like he was going to die, and he couldn't run upstairs without that same feeling, and he just hated himself for that he couldn't be the best dad that he could be. Now, when you think about that comment, I just want to be a bit fitter and healthier, or I want to be able to play football with my kids, it's 2 completely different things, 2 complete different motivators there. One of them is going to get you out of bed on the morning to take some action, and one of them isn't. All right. So really, please do this. All right. And if you haven't got I need to be 2 stone leaner by this time, then don't worry about it. Just set yourself real expectations. And once we've got clarity on that end goal and what it looks like, I then want you to forget about it completely. I know. How weird is that? What's this guy talking about? WTF in the top right hand corner, right? That's why I put that there. Shocked face. Because the majority of people I speak to about this, they're like, what? We've just done all that work and planning on where it is I actually want to get to, and you want me to forget about it? To a degree, yeah. Once we understand and we know it, then we want to forget about it, because that's the end goal. And it might be to lose 2, 3, 4 stone, right? Or even more than that. That's quite hard to achieve. So once we know the goal, then we want to reverse engineer it to go, okay, this is the goal, this is when I want to be there by. And this is the realism of it. Then we want to track backwards and go, okay, what steps can I take today, next week, and the week after that's going to get me to that end goal? All right. And the steps that you take have to be realistic. Yeah, the approach that you take has to be sustainable and very much manage your expectations. The more that you manage your own expectations when it comes to weight loss and getting fitter and healthier, the more likely you are to succeed. The more that you know and understand that you're not going to lose weight every single week. You know, when you set yourself the target of losing just 1 or 2 pounds a week, then that actually makes it achievable. I can do that. And that's the point. It makes the process simpler and easier. If you've got to lose 5 stone and you concentrate on that all the time, that makes it quite challenging and difficult. But if you say to yourself, I'm losing a pound this week, I'm losing 2 pounds this week, then you're in the realms of this is actually achievable and I can do it. And the point is, we want to take small steps in the right direction towards that end goal. Okay? That's why reverse engineer. Small steps in the right direction. And eventually you will get to where you want to get to, 100% of the time. Because taking those small steps in the right direction always leads to the biggest outcomes. Have that in your mind. I say it every day. Small steps in the right direction always lead to the biggest outcomes. Focus on the 1 to 2 pounds per week. Manage your expectations that if you've had a party, if you've had a celebration, or you've been out to taking your clients out or whatever a few times in the week, be real with yourself. Be honest with yourself and go, you know what, I'm probably not going to lose weight this week. But next week I will, because I'm going to do X, Y, and Z to make sure that I play catch up. And that's the point. Then we move on to our nutrition. Nutrition is key. In fact, it's probably 80% of your result. Get your nutrition right for what it is that you want to achieve. You are on to a winner. And nobody likes being on a diet. I mean, look at that guy's face. That's why I picked this picture, right, doing this training. Being on a diet is boring. When you think about that word, what does it mean to you? Actually write it down. You know, what does being on a diet, what does that relate to you? It's boring. It's challenging. I'm giving up my life as I know it. I'm giving up the things that I very much enjoy. So when you say to yourself, I'm going on a diet, what you're saying to yourself is, I'm going to give up life as I know it for a bit before it gets too much. I'm going to throw it in the bin and just forget about it altogether. So when it comes to your food, again, you're going to recognize this. Be realistic with what you can achieve. I want you to have a look at the food that you're eating at the moment and be honest with yourself. What's good, what's bad, and what's kind of indifferent and doesn't really matter. You know, with the stuff that, there's no such thing as bad food, it's just the proportion of it. You know, if you're having takeaways 2-3 times a week, really, is that sustainable? No, of course, you're going to continue end up going in another direction, in the wrong direction. But if you went from 3 takeaways a week down to 1, that's a real positive step in the right direction, isn't it? Absolutely. So if that's your one goal for that week, I'm only going to have 1 takeaway rather than 3. Brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. And then the next week, you're still only having your 1 takeaway, but then what else can I do? Well, actually, when I'm having that takeaway, I have 2 bottles of wine. Okay, brilliant. Let's reduce that down to 1 bottle of wine then. Yeah, so you're still having that thing that you want and you desire, but you're just having a little bit less of it. Yeah. Again, manage your expectations. Again, I'm only want to lose 1 or 2 pounds a week, taking those small steps in the right direction with my food. And once we've got a handle on that and we're thinking about it, we're going to start thinking about getting active. What does that look like for you? For everybody else, it's different. Okay, what's that approach? Some people like going to the gym. Some people hate going to the gym. You know, do you need to go to the gym for what you want to achieve? If you want to build lean muscle and become the next bodybuilding champion, then yeah, you need to go to the gym. You need to be realistic, right? If you go for a walk twice a week and want to be a bodybuilder, that's not going to get you to your goal. But if you just want to feel a little bit fitter and feel a little bit better about yourself and just go down the next notch on your belt, then have a think about, well, how active was I last week? What exercise did I do last week? If the answer is nothing, then doing something is going to be a positive step, right? So just think, oh, you know, I actually quite like going for a walk. Actually, it breaks up my day and I feel much better afterwards. Great, then do that, you know, twice a week, because it's more than what you did last week, and that's the point. Set yourself the goal, set yourself the target of, I'm going to do this activity next week. That might be going for a walk for half an hour twice a week. Also, it might be going for a run. You enjoy running, you enjoy cycling. The key thing here is it has to be something that you kind of enjoy doing, and that is easy enough and simple enough to do on the days that you don't want to do it. Yeah, you get my point. So it's got to be simple. something you can do. It might be that you really enjoyed swimming. All right, well, why did we stop? I don't know. Well, shall we start again? Yeah. So what steps do we need to take to get you swimming? I really, really enjoy cycling. Cycling is mega for calorie burn. Really, really good. So how can you get back to your cycling? Start getting your bike sorted out. And booking the time off in your diary is really, really key. Keeping an eye on what it is that you're doing and how's that actually working for you when you think about it. Getting on the scales every day, is that really the right approach for you? For some it is, because they like to understand the weight fluctuations. But for me personally, what I find works better is pick a day to weigh yourself. Always do it first thing in the morning, and wearing pretty much nothing is ideal, because then it stays consistent, and that's when you're at your most natural weight. So for me, it's every Friday morning, before I do anything, I get on the scales, and that is my true natural weight for the week. And I do that. It's kind of being kind to yourself, because if I was to do it on a Monday when I've had perhaps a bit more food than I would have normally, might have had a few beers, whatever, I'm probably going to be heavier on a Monday morning than I am on a Friday. So Friday's more realistic, and the hope is that the following Friday I'm less than what I was the Friday before, and that's the aim that we're going for. Pick your day, stick to it. All right. And I want you to think about, literally, the only thing in the world that makes us fatter or thinner is a calorie. There's a lot more when it comes to food. We've got macronutrients, micronutrients, and how we can use those different nutrients to make this process a little bit better, a little bit simpler. All right. But don't forget, this is all about just getting started. So when we're thinking about getting started, we have in our mind the only thing that makes us fatter or thinner is a calorie. All right. If we eat too little calories, if we eat fewer calories than we burn, we're going to lose weight. If we eat more calories than we burn, we're going to gain weight. All right. That's the simplicity of this. So if you're out and you don't know what decision to make, go for the lower calorie option. All right. Is steak pie, chunky chips and gravy a great choice, or is it salmon fillet with salad and whatever? Calorie wise, it's probably not too indifferent, but one of them's far more nutritious than the other. And that's where we're going to start thinking about our food. When we're looking at our food, does it scream at us, this is nutritious, or does it say to us, this is really unhealthy and really quite calorie dense? All right. So the only thing that makes us fat or thinner is a calorie. So reduce your calorie intake just week by week, just changing little things. I'm having 2 chocolate bars every day, we'll just have 1. Or I'm eating 2 bags of crisps every day, we'll just have 1 bag of crisps every day for a bit, and then go for 1 every other day. You're reducing your calorie intake, all right? And the key thing here to success is be consistent and keep it simple, folks. The consistency part of this is key. Understand, again, managing your expectations, that sometimes this is going to be challenging, sometimes it's going to be difficult, and it might be a couple of weeks that you don't actually lose anything, that you don't see any benefit to what you're doing. One of 2 things is going to happen: either your body's not reacting to what you're doing, or secondly, it will react if you just kept on being consistent the following week. People throw in the towel far too early, so the more consistency you throw at this, the more awareness you create in your own mind. Manage your expectations. If you go on to week 3 and you're still not changed, then you need to change something, because your body's matching what it is that you're burning out. And keep it simple, keep it real with yourselves, of what you can achieve. If you go from 0 to hero overnight, the all or nothing approach, it doesn't work. How many times have we tried that before and it's failed? Yeah, point proven, right? So keep it simple, small steps in the right direction, and you will get there. But the most important thing is taking action. All right, we're going to take positive action towards what it is that you want to achieve. And I'm going to introduce you to some clients of mine in a second who did just that. Okay, they took action when it came to their goals, and they got to where they wanted to be in quite a short amount of time. All right, so I'm going to introduce you to Matthew first of all. He's 47. He's a bit older than that now. He's 48 now, I think. He runs a successful business. He's crazy busy, married guy, regularly working crazy hours a day, 12-hour plus days. And when we first spoke, he was in a relatively good place. Wasn't massively overweight or anything like that, but he knew where he was heading wasn't particularly a great path to go down, and he was more thinking about the 10-year from now version of himself. He was starting to lack the energy to keep up with the pace of his day and show up at home as well, which is the kind of main the the main thing here. I can't get my words out. All right. And he jumped on my 12-week 5% coaching program, and during which he lost 24 pounds. We integrated, eating positively into his life. And this guy, bless him, he had no time to train at all. But now we found that time, and he trains regularly, 2-3 times a week in the gym. And guess what? He's now got the energy to maintain that crazy work schedule of his, and he's showing up at home as well, which is just amazing, right? And we've got Jazz. There's only one more after this, folks, and we're going to wrap up. Jazz, she's 46. Again, very, very stressful job. Had very little time for herself, and which developed quite a poor relationship with food. A lot of takeaways in there because no time, right? Over the 12 weeks, we gave her back her self-belief and the control of her health, and she lost 29 pounds. Now she's eating much more positively. She exercises regularly, and giving her back the control of her health was really key for her. And she was so pleased with her results that she created over the 12 weeks. And lastly, Hal, 48. He's a vet, successful business owner. So you can imagine being a vet, how busy he is. Married with kids, and again, he too was lacking the energy to keep up with that pace of work and home life as well. He lost 21 pounds in 12 weeks, and he's felt fitter, faster, and he feels absolutely amazing. And it's the best he's felt in 15 years, is what he said to me at the end. And it's not only impacted himself positively, but it's also had a real positive impact across the board through his family life, which is just amazing. So I really hope, guys, that you've taken all you need from this training to really get started on the right foot forward when it comes to what it is that you want to achieve. And if you were interested in having a conversation with us about potentially working with us on one of the many programs that we have on offer, then it all starts with this conversation, all right? It's 10 to 15 minute chat on the phone. We call it a game plan call, it's exactly what it is, all right? And it's all about you and where it is that you're struggling with your health and fitness journey now. We want to know the kind of things that you've been up to until now. Have you got an aim in mind, and is there a time frame for that? Some people are getting married, some people are going on holiday, other people don't have a time frame. That's fine, it's all right. And it's also there for complete transparency to see if we're a good fit for one another. Are we the right coaches for you, and are you the right client for us? Have we got something that's going to help you become the best version of yourself? Because that's what it's all about. And if you were interested in booking in that game plan call, there'll be a link in the comments section of this video. Click that link, book in. It'll be directly with myself. We'll have a great chat and really get you some help and get you stirring in the right direction with your health and fitness, which is the last thing that I want to say. Listen, I hope you take some value from this training, guys. I look forward to getting you stirring in the right direction with your health and fitness, and we'll speak very soon. If there's any other training you want us to cover, let us know and we'll get it sorted. Take care.